All right, I had to do a video. I had to talk about this because this is all I've been seeing like every day, everywhere, all over the place about these shootings, about the El Paso shooting. It's usually a recurring theme. The recurring theme is that it has to do with something political, either white nationalism or anti-gay, the Muslim shooting, and then the other guy was a leftist. The guy, another shooter, not the El Paso shooter, the Daytona shooter, some other shooter that just happened. But I don't think. I think those are all surface reasons. Those are all surface reasons, or guns. People say there's too many guns. There's always been too many guns. That's not the difference. Or mental illnesses, but then they don't explain like why some people with mental illnesses are shooting people and others, most don't. What I think is going on, I've gathered some pieces of evidence. What I think is happening. The first piece of evidence that I'm going to show is that this is the how often shootings happen, mass shootings. And this website, Mother Jones, has recorded all of the mass shootings since 1982. There was one mass shooting in 1982, and then it goes up in frequency from there. Like the next one is 2 in 1984, and when you get to 2019 and 2018, there's a ton. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. Okay, there's 12 when you get to that, and it goes from 1 to all the way to 12. That's my first piece of evidence before I explain myself. Second piece of evidence is look at all of look at what all the shooters look like. Okay, and I'm just going to show you what the shooters look like. This is one guy. This is the other guy. Another guy. Another guy. And another guy. And these are, by the way, I didn't just cherry pick these. I picked these 5 guys. These are the top 5 most recent. I just went in a line. These are the top 5. Now you tell me the similarity of the look between all these 5 guys. Okay, you probably already guessed it, and I don't even have to say, but it's that they all look like disenfranchised people, and by disenfranchised people, I mean incels. They look like people who have just been screwed over in life. I don't mean that they're getting no action from girls. I just mean that life has probably treated them bad. So that's the second piece of evidence. That's the commonality, the second commonality. And the third piece of evidence, is the when that girl licked the ice cream. After she licked the ice cream, weeks later, everyone was licking ice cream, spitting in Listerine, and doing all crazy shit. Just weeks later. What I think it all boils down to, I mean, all the surface reasons like gun control and mental illness and political stuff. I think that's all surface reason. I think the deeper underlying thing that's causing this is you have sad people. You have miserable, sad people who want attention so badly. And they also hate the world. They want to deliver vengeance upon the world. Like the world has screwed me over, so what? So now I'm just returning the favor to the world. It's like the mentality. I think it really just has to do with the media coverage. I think the media coverage, things like the media and people like me making videos about this crap, the media coverage, I think, is what accelerates the frequency of how often this shit happens. Because people now know, they know for sure that if they have a mass shooting, whatever message they have is going to get out. Any message they have is going to get out. They know for a fact if they have any type of mass shooting, it'll get covered. It'll get covered like worldwide. Not even mass shooting like the ice cream thing, but they covered like worldwide. I think it just has to do with attention. It has something to do with attention and something to do with the type of people that are doing it. I don't think it has to do with the surface reasons of the assault weapons. I mean, we've had assault weapons way before 1982. Okay, I don't think it has to do with assault weapons or weapons. There's more shootings, illegal shootings, than legal shootings. First of all, illegal guns. Most of the shootings are illegal guns, and most shootings are like single, like pistols, just someone getting killed by a pistol. That's most shootings, and most killings aren't really from mass shootings. But the media covers this the most because it's the most traumatic. But that's my 2 cents. I mean, this has been around. It's not even like my theory. This theory is like all over the place. That it's really just the media covering it. It's their attention. It's incels. something related to incels. I mean, you got tying all the things together. I can't exactly tie why they all look like incels. I'm thinking. I mean, I'm not like shit. I'm not saying all incels are gonna shoot people. 0.001% of incels. I mean, I was an incel to 24. I didn't shoot anybody. 0.001% of incels are gonna shoot people. But it's just that the people shooting happen to look like incels. Uh, I think it has something to do with that. It has something to do with media coverage because the frequency of how often it happened has accelerated so much, and media has blown up since 1982. I mean, when I was around, when I was born in 1987, and when I was a kid, the media, it was like the news wasn't its own channel. The news had like 1 hour slot. It was like, "Where's your kid?" It's 10 o'clock. Where's your kid? Like I remember that, hearing that. And now news is like its own separate entity of entertainment. It's massive now. I think it really has to do with the explosion of coverage. I think people just want to be heard and seen and everything else, and they want to be known any way they can. I mean, I remember. I mean, you hear about this with serial killers. Serial killers, every time they are the mass serial killers, like they kill like 10 people in a row, they always leave like notes. They leave like hints and notes to catch them. I mean, they want to be known. They want to be caught. It's always like the same thing. I remember what's his name? There was the Night Stalker, that killer, the Night Stalker. He was like excited that he was like in the same jail cell as like Jeffrey Dahmer, and he was excited about the whole being doing all these interviews, and he was like making it a big deal. I think it just has to do with attention. That's my thought.